Okay, it's a 1000 player from Netherlands, is it? I don't know. It doesn't pop up. Netherlands, right. Knight c3. Okay, he wants to push for e4 to get more space in the center, but we try to make it more difficult for him. So maybe he plays bishop g5 now to attack one of the defenders of e4. Let's see. But I mean, because he's rated 1000, let's see how many games he played. Not that much. So, but you can see that maybe his rating is somewhere around there. Normally you need more games to play. I expect some more mistakes in the opening. So maybe he locks in his bishop here with e3, something like this. I think. Okay, so I don't want to take the knight here. Let's control e4. So bishop f4, for example, would be good. But sooner or later he needs to try to attack the center. Maybe with c4. And because of the knight here on c3, it's more difficult for him. So now you can see that he locked in his bishop. Okay, it helps him to castle quickly, but maybe he has some problems sooner or later with the bishop here. So my bishop is out of the pawn chain, so it's not locked in. I mean, this is the only difference when you look at the position. This bishop is out of the pawn chain, and this one is in. I wonder if it's dangerous if he really attacks me here with g4 and g5 later on. I want to keep this bishop. On the other hand, I think I like if he really plays g4, because I think the position would be quite weak on the king side afterwards. f4. So e4 is now very weak. I don't want to play c5 now. And I also like to kick the knight away with f6 later on. As you can see, we play a 3 minute plus 2 seconds game. Okay, let's play h6 to retreat the bishop maybe to e4, to h7. Maybe knight e4. Okay. So these pawns and the diagonal here, I mean, everything is quite weak on the king's side for white. So I'm already threatening something like retreating here the knight and playing bishop h4. Bishop h4 didn't work because he could retreat the knight to f2. But now, bishop h4 is a threat. What does he want to do? Yeah, but this doesn't help that much. I just take here. Does he want to play queen g4? I'm not sure. Rook h4. What is his idea? "46 seconds, it should be enough." You still can see that this bishop here is locked in. So yeah, bishop h4 next. Rook h3, queen g4. Bishop h4 check. I don't like this.
Time warning, check.
Okay. Okay, now I can
check.
Even bring my queen with a tempo into the game, and
checkmate.
This is already checkmate. So this game was quite short, but nevertheless, what we can learn from this game is to not to lock in your pieces, and also not to weaken your pawn structure, or your own king side too much if your king has not castled yet. So e3, the problem with e3 is that he locks in his bishop here on c1. Everything is not, you can't say it's fine, but it's okay for white if he plays bishop f4. I would like the position even more if the knight would be still on b1, and instead of b1 he had played bishop f4. Then he can play e3, bishop e2 or d3, and he can push the c pawn to attack the center. This knight is keeping control a bit of the center, but it's not doing that much. He can't even strengthen the position in the center even more. So it's better to move the pawn, sometimes even to c3 and the knight to d2. The knight is not that good here in this kind of position on c3 in my opinion. And e3 locks in the bishop, and this was a problem in the whole game. And now he decides not to develop his pieces, but to strengthen the position here of the knight, but he weakens the kingside position. And maybe I should here even try play knight e4. I didn't like the thing that maybe if I take back the bishop would be locked in, but I can directly play bishop h4 check when I play knight e4. So this would have been better, I guess. But I liked my position here, because if you look at the bishops, this bishop is much better than this bishop. I mean, they're both on the black squares, but look, on d2 this bishop is not doing that much. He needs to play something like b3, and but I mean, where does he really want to move the bishop to? b3, a4, bishop a3 maybe, just to get rid of this bishop would be helpful for white. But this bishop is more flexible. I can check him, and here I have much more squares. You just need to count them, 3 here and 4 here, so it's 7, and he just has 1 square. I mean, I can add this one as well. So this bishop is much better. And why? Because he locked in his bishop, and the pawns are on the same square as this bishop. So avoid this.